Hello everyone, my name is Faceless Impact, and I'm here to tell you that this commentary isn't for you today. I'm sorry guys. This is actually going to be a dedication, and oh, by the way, the reason there's no video in front of this is because it's already like 10 minutes long, and I didn't want to make it any longer. I'm going to have to talk the entire time anyway, so I'm probably going to die. But this is a dedication to my very best friend in the entire universe, Joshua. And today is his birthday, and I can't go home to our hometown and see him for his birthday because I'm really poor. And I felt terrible, but then I was sitting in my car driving home from work thinking, you know what, I'm going to dedicate a commentary to him and tell everyone about how he met and how he has changed my life. So this is to you, Joshaa. This one's to you. So, and I don't know if you guys want to listen to this. I'm going to be reminiscing a little bit here. But, yeah, here we go. So, to understand about my relationship with Josh, you have to understand who I was before I met him. Now, I was what you would commonly refer to as a miserable bitch. How old was I? 13? Yeah, middle school. So I was in middle school, and I went to there was two different middle schools in my hometown, and I went to the bad one. You know, I went where all the little badasses went. So I went to this school, and I went through like a rebel phase, like you don't even understand. Maybe I'll sit down and tell you guys about like my first fight sometime, but that's what would happen. Like I got into fights like you don't even understand. Like I would just, for no good fucking reason, I would look for excuses to fight other girls. And there was this one time I got into a fight with a guy, but that's a long story. Anyway, so I was getting suspended, like kicked out of school a few times, and like I was stressing my parents out so badly, and I just didn't give a shit. You know, I was in this really vicious goth stage too. That was my thing. I had like eyeliner that went so far down my face. It was super thick black eyeliner, and my hair, I always wore it down, and my hair is black. So, you know, and then I wore all black outfits. I wore like skirts, like pleather skirts with chains hanging off the hips, and I had this I had like handcuffs that I would wear as a belt, and I wore like the spike jewelry on my arms, and oh god, I was like deep in, like, Marilyn Manson was my fucking hero. You know, I was just out of control. And all my friends were like that too. And you know, we like skipped school, we didn't give a shit. And so when I went into high school, when I moved up, a lot of my friends didn't make the move because, now you have to understand, my dad's a teacher, and like he was not having it from me. He fought me every step of the way on me being a little badass. So I made it into high school, and a lot of my friends didn't, or they made it to like the alternative ed, which is like the really, like, I was mild compared to my friends, to be totally honest. I was just the one who got in fights a lot. But so I made it into high school, and I didn't have a lot of friends. And I continued to be this miserable bitch for like a good part of my 9th grade year. Yeah, that was a triple kill. Get on my level. Anyway, so what ended up happening was I had this art class. And in this art class was Josh. And I didn't know him from Adam. You know, like, I would just sit there. I would go and I would draw, and I would not talk to anyone. But one of my major issues was always people getting picked on. Like, I hated it because I used to get picked on a lot when I was a kid. And then once I like figured out I could fight people and be tough, it was like I fought other people's battles for them. So, Faceless Impact, Defender of the Week. Mwahaha. So what ended up happening was one day, me with my sassy attitude, I was talking to a couple of the kids in my class, and Josh said something to me. And I was like real snotty. I was like, what are you, gay? And he was like, yeah. I was like, oh, okay. And from then on, like, we were friends, and that was it. Like, we were just fucking thick as thieves. And in that particular class, like at the time, Josh was super, super shy. He's not now. You couldn't pay him to be shy now. But like there was these kids that would give him a hard time because he's gay, you know, because they're narrow-minded assholes. And I always hate people like that, you know. And so I would like get into it with them, and through that we became really close. So this is a story of how we met. But you ever meet someone and it's like your other half suddenly? And that's what Josh is to me. Like, he is the kind of friend that you can argue with and never remember what the argument was about after it's over. Or you meet them and they just get you. Like, we cannot talk for months at a time, and then we pick up right where we left off, and that's always how we've been. So, actually, Josh is the reason that I play on a console, because I was never a console gamer. I always played, like, single-player games. I think, like, my most up-to-date console was my fucking Dreamcast at the time that I met him. Like, I never had a PS1. I never had an original Xbox. I had a GameCube, actually. I had a GameCube. And I played on my computer, and I played, like, StarCraft and Command & Conquer and things like that, you know? But he introduced me to the world, like, the vast world of video games. So, like, my dad would get so pissed at me because we'd play MMOs together. Like, that was our shit. So I'd have my house phone, because I didn't have a cell phone at the time. I'd have my house phone, and I would have my computer, and I would just sit there playing an MMO and with him, and I'd be on the phone with him because we didn't feel like typing to each other in the game. And I would tie up all the lines in the house, and we gave my dad so much stress. He was like, if you don't get off the phone. But I mean, we would do that for 8 hours at a time after we just hung out at school all day. And it was actually with him that I like learned to be social, because I just wasn't very good at it. And he had asked me to join drama club, which I was like, drama club, whatever. But I ended up joining because I read Phantom of the Opera and I fell in love. And B, like, I was like, all right, you know what, I'll go to hang out with you. And if you guys, I love theater now. Like that's actually what I wanted to do with my life, was go and work on Broadway, because I love to sing and dance and act. And I became like the president of our drama club. So, you know, going from someone who was like, that shit sounds stupid, to this is my everything, you know, and it made me able to be more social. Like, I don't think I'd be the way I am now, able to just calmly speak, you know, in public. Like, I have no problem with crowds now. I can just meet people and get along with them better. And I give that credit to theater, but I give the credit to being in theater to him, because he pulled me out of my comfort zone. We had this game we used to do. I never used to be able to stare people in the eyes too long. I don't know why. I know it sounds weird, but it made me really uncomfortable. And he used to make me sit there and stare at him. And I've had so many like crazy experiences with this kid. Like, one of the times I skipped school. I wish I could have found the video, guys. It's hilarious. But we skipped school together, and I recorded us sneaking off the school grounds so we could go watch the third X-Men movie in theaters. And it was hilarious. Or we used to throw this New Year's party every year, and it was our thing, and everyone came to it, and it was always the most poppin', best New Year's party ever. Or, this one time I was at his house, and we were in the kitchen, and we had just made some ramen. And I was like, hey, pass me a fork. Hey, pass me a fork. And I was being obnoxious. It's like, pass me a fork, pass me a fork, pass me a fork. And he turns, he's at the sink. This kid turns around, whips the fork across the room, right? He stuck me in the forehead with a fucking fork. And we just sat there for a minute. And he's looking at me, and I'm sitting there, and I have a fork in my goddamn forehead. And then it just drops. And I start bleeding. And I was like, am I bleeding? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh shit, you just hit me with a fork. And he was like, I know. And like, oh my God, so many stories. There's so many things we've done together. And he's like, he was my date to prom, which was really kind of him, because I'm a terrible dancer. And he is like the best dancer I know. So I had to, oh, it was so ridiculous all night, guys. I had to fight every other girl who was there for a chance to dance with my date because everyone wanted to dance with him. And he popped his collar and he was wearing a bright pink shirt and it was just great. And I don't know, he's my better half. He makes things bearable for me and he's the best friend I've ever had. And today's his birthday, so happy birthday to you, Joshaa. I love you to itty bitty pieces, even though you smell and you're old now because you're 22. But, yeah. Oh, wish him a happy birthday, guys. I'll make sure he watches this video. And that's about it for today. I went 58 and 13 in this game. It was pretty fun. Actually, yeah. I hope Josh sees this and loves it. And don't forget, it's okay to play like a girl, guys. I will see you all later.